Here's a simple question. Are electric trucks ready to replace traditional trucks? To find out, we decided to take on an epic road trip by driving the Ford F-150 Lightning over 3,500 miles from Boulder, Colorado to the furthest place you can drive a vehicle in the U.S., and that is Dead Horse, Alaska. What makes this such an arduous journey is that we have to charge our way up the entire spine of North America in places, well, where there is virtually no charging. So sit back and relax and enjoy the journey, because we certainly did. So in the last episode, we made it up here to Dead Horse, Prudhoe Bay. We were super happy because we made it, but now we're trying to find a place to charge.
Yeah.
Once again, it's 11 o'clock at night.
Yep.
We're driving around trying to find some outlets that will let us charge at a fairly high rate so that we can actually make the trip back home to, well, we're going all the way to Anchorage.
Yeah.
And once again, this is, you know, the new frontier, and it ain't easy.
But there's lots of helpful people around places like this.
The people are what makes this. I know.
Everybody wants to help.
We found a random, so we had arranged for old charging company here, which we couldn't find, and all of a sudden this guy, Sean, right,
Yeah,
pulls up a pickup truck, and next thing you know, is like, hey, I'm with the local power company.
Yeah.
I can help you guys.
What do you need?
What do you need? Yeah, and you know, it's like I said, I know it doesn't look like it, but it's 11 o'clock at night. Everybody's asleep here.
Yeah. It looks like it's dead around here. But, but look at that sunset. Well,
There's
it
no
really
sunset.
never sets,
Yeah.
but it's going to be a long sunset. All right, we're going to get our 40 amp charger out, and that's called a NEMA 1450. Let's open up and see. Oh yeah, baby. NEMA 1450. Oh, baby.
Oh, good God.
Oh.
See?
Let's try this NEMA 1450. Ah, there we go.
Winner, chicken dinner. All right, so Ford comes with a 30 amp. We got a 40 amp. All right, let's see. Oh, that's a good sign.
Now it's got to be blue.
It's got to go blue. Oh, it's
There we
blue.
go. We're blue.
All right, so now the question is, how much power are we drawing? Let's see, and I'll tell you what the truck says.
All right, it's going up. It's 4 amps, 5 amps, 6 amps, 7 amps.
So the good news is we're charging, David. The bad news is we'll be 100% charged at 2:48 p.m. tomorrow.
Well, that's what it said yesterday when we started charging.
2:48.
Yeah, we're gonna have a 14-hour nap over here.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah,
We really appreciate it. You know, this man saved our butt. He told us
I don't know
where.
about
So are you guys installing some DC chargers?
There's
Yeah.
talk of it. There's
Yeah.
talk of it. It's
Yeah.
come up in a few meetings that we're talking
so-
about putting the charging stations up here. Yeah.
August 12th, there's a rally coming up here, and they're installing some kind of temporary chargers.
Okay.
But they're bringing 10 cars, and
Right.
you know, that's a lot of power
Yep.
with no infrastructure.
Nothing for that. I'm sure we can find the power up here, but yeah, there's nothing.
Yeah, I'm sure there's
really
tons
supporting
of
that.
tons
What
of power.
generates your power up
Yeah,
here?
where do you get your power from? Is it like
From
you know,
PDX.
Yeah,
And how do you generate it?
yeah, you know.
We got turbines.
Turbines?
Is it, but
For the most part.
Is it
For the
oil
most
or is it natural gas or is
Natural
it
gas
natural
turbines.
gas? Okay,
Natural gas.
natural gas.
That you
Okay.
pump out of the ground.
All right. So play some like music. We'll go to bed, and then tomorrow we're gonna go check out the Arctic Ocean. You know, driving the Dead Horse would be a lot easier if there were Flow chargers along the way. But Flow, and thank you Flow for making this trip possible, is installing chargers throughout the lower 48. Now I did some calculating, and if we had had Flow chargers all the way up to Dead Horse, we would have saved, and I'm not joking, something like 2 days of charging. That's the difference that a fast charger makes versus a slow charger. So thank you Flow, really appreciate your support and charging up the Lightning.
you won't see anybody like walking across the tundra or anything out here unless they were like walking along the pipe or cleaning up trash or something like that. They try to really protect this tundra, so except for where they're, working.
So David,
Yeah.
we have made it to the end of the road is right there.
See that?
And the North Pole is 1,200 miles that way.
way.
Let's walk to the end,
Okay.
because we've come this far, right?
We have, you can't.
When you left Boulder, that was what, 3,500 miles ago?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like another lifetime, actually.
Now
Time just went still.
we've gotten a lot of comments from people saying that we ignore Canada, and we actually didn't ignore Canada.
No, we cut
drove.
the corner.
Yeah, we drove through the Yukon Territory,
Yeah.
and we're well aware that you can get further north in Canada. So for all you Canucks out there, we appreciate the country. We drove through it. It's beautiful, and actually we featured it in the series.
Yeah, but we really didn't need to make that trek to find the limits of the lightning.
No, it would have made this trip much more painful
Yes.
and wouldn't have proven anything.
It's been painful as it
It's
is.
been painful. The truck is still charging, and we got another
Right.
8 hours before it charges completely. Imagine doing that, for 3
All
and
the
a
way
half.
across Canada.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
No, we love our families too much to do that to them.
So, David, is this what you expected to find at the end of the road? A bunch of rusty barrels, oil field buildings, and of course tundra, caribou, and lots of migratory birds.
Yeah, I guess I knew
Yeah.
what was here. It's just very industrial.
Yeah,
you know.
it ain't no Maui.
No, it's not. It's not a vacation site. Obviously this is for a purpose.
Yeah, but the water is very clean.
Yeah, it does look clean. Everything looks clean.
Yeah.
Other than, the remnants around here.
Yeah.
And so
You gonna dip your toe in?
yeah, so I've got a pair of socks that already have a hole in them.
Okay.
And so I wore these specifically so I could put my toe in the water without taking my sock off.
Man's always thinking.
Oh yeah, it's cold.
Yeah. Crazy happy to be here, but would I do it in an electric truck again? Not without proper infrastructure.
Yeah, maybe in 10 years it'll
Yeah,
be here,
yeah,
5 years, but right now we're you just ask and hope somebody gives you a hookup for your electric truck. But this is why we came
Yeah,
right
this
here.
is-
That's why we're here, everyone.
All right, go for it.
There we go.
All right.
Why not, you know?
You're a better man than me, Jay.
You gotta get below the waistline at least.
Hey David, being up here in Dead Horse, Alaska, we just spent how much for this?
$8.
$8, yeah. So luckily, a friend of yours lent us this really beautiful Dometic fridge freezer combination, so that we don't have to spend an arm and a leg to get food. I do want to thank Jack's up in northern Colorado. So if you guys are looking for a Dometic fridge freezer combo, or
Online, you can go to Jack's and buy it too.
or online you can buy it, please check them out. It's partners like this that have made this trip possible, because I cannot explain to you, well, I can $9 for a gallon of water up here. Without sponsors and without friends like this would be impossible. It would just be so, it's like being in Hawaii times 3.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Hey guys, we tried to cook lunch, but there were just too many mosquitoes, so instead we came here where we're charging the F-150 Lightning, and we're using David's expert addition to four-wheel campers. It's really not a sliding camper, it's just a camper top. So David created this wonderful little platform where we can not only sit and play cards, but best of all, sit in the comfort of the camper and eat lunch. What are you doing, David?
Well, make a peanut butter and jelly bagel.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better than sitting out there letting the bugs eat us.
Oh, I know. I love your setup.
Thank you. Come
Yeah.
on up and join me.
It's that time of the video where we give you our goodie box of swag, as long as you're the first one to find it. Now, we're not giving you coordinates, but there are a lot of hints as to where we are. If you can't guess where we are, then you probably haven't been watching the entire series. But please, if you're the first one to find this goodie box, put on the t-shirt, take a picture, and send it to Ask a TFL Truck so that we can let the community know that these boxes have been found. So I think, David, what do you think?
Yeah, I like that spot.
Yeah, over here?
Yeah, I think we better put the sandbag over it so the mosquitoes don't carry it away.
Exactly. Yeah. Good deal. Send us an email if you're the first to find it. All right, so it's 3 in the afternoon and we have to get back to Coldfoot tonight. And I'm not sure we got enough power. I just checked, the truck has 92%, and we basically used 90% to get here yesterday, but we were going downhill. Now we're going uphill. So it'll be a little bit nail biter to see if we can make it to Coldfoot on one charge. But we've got a 7-hour drive ahead of us. We're actually going to have to go slower, so it might be longer than that because we need to conserve energy. And this is where, like, the tire hits the dirt road because electric trucks, especially without DC fast charging, take a lot of time to charge on even a 40 amp, a 240 volt system. So let's see how far we can make it, hopefully all the way to Coldfoot. It's funny, this entire video series has really been about the Lightning, but the hero truck really is the hybrid, because the hybrid combines the best of both worlds. It lets you drive on electricity and it lets you get a lot of range using gas. Plus, it's got the added benefit of allowing us to charge the Lightning from the hybrid. All right, David, we have made it back to Edigan Pass, except that we are really low on juice. Basically, got 45 miles of battery left. What percentage is it? Let's go to the percentage here. Settings, charge, 24%.
24%. No, we started with 92%.
Yeah, and we've got another 80 miles. There's no way.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way we're gonna make it. So we may have to go to the emergency charging. But you know what? People are going to probably give us grief for having an emergency backup.
Yeah, it's just a gas generator embodied in a pickup truck. So it's no different than the diesel generator that we're going to plug into tonight at Coldfoot, which is no different than the natural gas generator that they have in Dead Horse, which is no different than the coal generator that we have at home. So yeah, it's all fossil fuel that's charging our batteries for the most part. And we had to do it. We knew we had to do it, but we proved along the way that it is possible to travel, pretty good distance along a really rough road and do it in style.
So what do you think of this as a truck compared to the hybrid? You've driven both.
Yeah, well, it has, a lot of things are similar, but I think the pedal feel is much better on the electric truck than the hybrid. The hybrid will go 80 miles an hour much better than this truck. This will do 80 miles an hour, but for long distances, the hybrid is the way to go, right? At high speeds. This truck does very good on dirt roads, up in the mountains. It takes the bumps incredible, because this truck weighs well over 8,000 pounds like it is.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah,
yeah, with all the gear in the back.
Yeah, 6,800 empty.
Yeah.
And you're right, exactly right.
With all our gear that we have in it, well over 8,000 pounds. And in four-wheel independent suspension, rides awesome. It has turned the Dalton Highway into the gravel road at my house. I mean, it's that smooth. Yeah.
They both have, that's the King Ranch, of course, so it's a little bit nicer than this Lariat version. But, in terms of kind of the aesthetics of them, they're very similar.
They are.
And we made it to the top.
The body styles are a little bit different. Yeah, we just went over the top.
Yeah, and we're down to 35 miles of range.
I think maybe they changed the body style, I'm guessing here, for aerodynamics. But I like the looks of it. I like the cool lights that are located all the way around the truck. That's a neat feature.
That has onboard power, but our irony is that only has 7.2, right? This has 9.1 or 2, something like that. It's got more power that you can actually use.
Yeah, but you know what I do like about cooking in the back tailgate of the Lightning over the power boost?
Yeah.
Is that the motor doesn't come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, it has to kick on because once the battery's depleted from my skillet and my refrigerator and all that, then the motor kicks on, whereas the electric truck, it doesn't.
Yeah, we've been trying to actually cook on the back of this thing, and it hasn't been easy, not because of the fact that it has not enough power, but because of the fact that the mosquitoes here are incredible, man.
Yeah.
Oh, the second you walk outside, it's like... David, I didn't think we'd make it, but because we're coming down in elevation, the two critical numbers that we need, they're coming together. So that's the amount of range we have, and that's how far we have to go. So 43 miles of range, 59 miles to go to Coldfoot. And when we started this, those numbers were about 25 miles apart, but we've been climbing steadily until we got to Attican Pass, and now those two numbers are slowly converging. Now, it's not precise, but once those two numbers meet, that means we're going to make it. I still don't think we're going to make it because 23%.
Yeah, but it was 23% when we were going over the hill.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that there's some magic in this lightning.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, it was 23% 8 miles ago.
Yeah, so here's the number that I like. We are at 3485 right now in terms of elevation, and then Coldfoot, I think last time we were there was around 2,500 or so. It's still above sea level, but that gives us another 1,000 feet that we're going to have to drop before we get to Coldfoot. So that's promising. Favor. Yeah, that's really promising. Yeah, basically since the top of the pass, we've been rolling for free.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. This is exciting. It's a nail biter, David. Are we gonna make it? I gotta say, I am super excited to get back to Fairbanks and DC charging. Make this again.
I'm excited about having normal sleep hours, Roman.
Yeah, I know. I mean, our life, guys, the last several days, our life has been not sleep because of various reasons, charge for 18 hours and drive for 8 or something like that. Maybe charge for 14 hours and drive for 8, right?
And eat at really odd times.
Yeah, you're very hungry. You got food on the brain.
I do.
Hey, David,
almost the same.
we are one number apart. You're just waiting. I'm just waiting for it to go 37. When that happens, that magic moment, David, we are officially at the exact amount of range and battery that we need to make it there without charging.
Success.
Oh, come on, you can do. There it goes. You just did it. All right, you got to give us a song. Come on, last episode.
Okay,
we need like da 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 da.
We are the champions, my friend.
Nice.
And we'll keep on driving till the end.
We are the champions.
We are the champions. No time for losing, 'cause we are the champions
Of the Dalton.
Oh, of the Dalton.
Yeah, well, you said driving, so I had to throw in mine a little bit. But look at that, guys. 37. I think we are going to make it. David, I am flabbergasted. I really didn't think we'd make it, and here we are with 5%.
Yeah, incredible. I'm impressed with the truck.
Yeah, people are going to give us grief that we
We went slow.
yeah. There's a lot of downsides.
Yeah.
But it's also fun, I mean, if we had a regular old truck with the gasoline engine, there'd be no drama. And we had a lot of drama and a lot of fun kind of playing the let's see when we run out game.
Well, it is nice to know exactly how far we have to go compared to how much range we have. And the truck definitely has been very good about telling us that information. Unlike the old gas gauge on my truck.
The gas gauge.
You don't know where you're at, right? It gets down there about empty and it's like, you think I'll make it, honey? I don't know, honey. We better pull over now.
All right, well, let's go cook some burgers, dude. It's 10 o'clock at night. I'm hungry, and hopefully these guys will have the chart. What if we pull up and there's a Tesla charging? If there's one charger here.
Oh, that'd be bad.
Oh, that'd be bad.
Yeah.
Let's pull around to the shed here and see what the scoop is.
Yeah. See if they left the plug out for us.
Yeah, see if there's an electric vehicle parked in here. The plug's out there.
And the plug's out there.
The last thing I'm going to say, David, is
Yeah.
we have charged it up for free everywhere except when we left Fairbanks.
Yeah.
So that truck has probably spent about $400 in gasoline, right, to go 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
This one we spent about 20 bucks. So the golden age of electric cars is now, because a year from now they're going to have a charger up here, and just like the hotels and just like the dinner place, it's going to cost a lot to charge
Because
up
they'll
here.
have to put a different generator, all the equipment,
Yeah,
new
exactly.
wires. So yeah, we did it at the right time.
Yeah, so guys, come on up while the going is good. All right. We forgot to do one thing, and it's the most important thing of all. Alaska, we love you. And it's going to go right next to the Yukon territory because this truck has now been to Alaska. The most important state of all. Whew, done. It's that time of the video again to stash another TFL goodie box. Now I'm going to give you a hint. Camp Yukon is over that way. The bridge is over that way. The pipeline is that way, and we are going this way. All right, hint number 2. There seems to be some kind of a structure here. And this goodie box is going to be hiding underneath the structure. So there you go. You're the first one to get here and claim your goodie box, put the shirt on, and send us a picture of you. We'll make you famous to info at TFL, no, actually it's ask at TFL Truck. And that way we'll let the rest of the community know that the goodie box here by the Yukon camp has been claimed.
My name's Tim Leach. I work for Launch Alaska, and I'm the transportation lead. We're a nonprofit that is here as a business accelerator here in Alaska, and really we find the startup companies that have some sort of a climate tech solution that reduces cost and reduces emissions in the sectors of energy, transportation, and the industry.
One of the things that you guys are doing is what we've just done, except you're doing it more as a rally, and you're installing at least temporary infrastructure. So tell me about the rally and tell me what the point and the idea behind it is.
Absolutely. Well, first off, I want to say congratulations on getting
thanks.
all the way up to Dead Horse. That's a fantastic feat that you guys have just accomplished in this Ford F-150 Lightning.
Yeah, we wanted to be the first to drive a truck. Obviously, people in Teslas have been up there, but we wanted to be the first to drive a truck. So thank you very much. But tell me about the rally.
Sure. So the Arctic Road Rally is a Department of Energy funded project. Launch Alaska is one of the partners. We've got a lot of community partners that are supporting this. including presence and the connections to some of the dealers as well here, and then also some of the OEMs or original equipment manufacturers. The Arctic Road Rally is really a technology demonstration similar to what you've all just done in terms of the performance of this vehicle, as well as the power boost. Really trying to make sure that you are getting and we're getting the message out to the general public that EVs can work in these really remote and isolated conditions and austere or harsh road conditions. And we're also doing that on the charging vehicle or the charging equipment side. So as you know, as you've seen up there along the Dalton Highway, it's a fairly remote stretch of road. There are really microgrids along most of that route, so there's not a connected grid for folks who are maybe your viewers down the lower 48. Think about mountains and wilderness essentially, tundra and boreal forest, and that's the country that we're traveling through and that you just traveled through. So all of it comes back to a technology demonstration, and that's to help prove out innovation and technology, to help raise awareness around electric vehicles, and really to help inform the decisions around infrastructure investment as we move towards those federal monies that are coming into the state of Alaska.
So what cars are going? What do you got?
So we're planning for 10 vehicles this year. We've got a handful of Teslas. Those are some Model Ys, a Model 3, Model S. And then we're also looking at Rivian R1Ts and a Ford F-150 Lightning, and we're still working with an owner who's hoping to bring his EV Hummer up from Arizona. So that's the handful that we're looking at, and really looking at 2022 this summer, starting in a few weeks really, as a test drive for our event in 2023, where we'll scale up, bringing more vehicles, especially as some of those models are becoming available in next year.
So we spent, anywhere from 15 to 17 hours charging just to get to the next segment of the trip.
Totally.
So how are you going to do that with 10 vehicles and not just one? Tell me, are you building out an infrastructure? How are you making that happen?
Yeah, great point. And that, you just experienced, not just along the Haul Road, but also as you've driven up into Alaska from Canada, and then as you've driven south here towards Anchorage, you've just experienced, the thin network of public
I would
charging.
call it charging desert.
The charging desert. Okay.
Yeah, I think we counted. I think there's 7 fast chargers in all of Alaska, right? The biggest state in the union, by the way, for all you Texans, right?
Yeah. Well, I won't pick a fight with Texas.
But
I hear what you're saying.
But and the biggest of those fast chargers is a 50 kilowatt, which is not a lot, compared to 150. So you can do the math. This truck has 131 kilowatt hour battery. So on a 50, if it's completely empty, you're looking at 2.5 hours.
Yeah. So going back to your question here, along the Dalton Highway, we're starting in Fairbanks on August 12th, and we're anticipating that this journey is going to be a 5-day journey, which will give us a little time up on the north end. Though we are doing something slightly different than what you've just done, we're putting in temporary charging stations along that route. So going from Fairbanks, we'll stop over just north of the Yukon River. So we're putting in a charging station there, and we're working with our partners at Alaska Department of Transportation and Public Facilities for that. We'll then be doing an overnight or spending some time there to sleep and charge up in Coldfoot. So that gives us more time to do some level 2 or slower charging. And then, still watching the clock, watching as the battery comes up towards full. And then moving out that next day, we'll be driving and then stopping at a fast charging location north of Adigan Pass, north of the Brooks Range there, before we continue on towards Dead Horse. And one of our partners we're working with, who's been incredibly generous and supportive, is ConocoPhillips. And so we're working with ConocoPhillips to go on to the leased territory past that security gate in Dead Horse there towards Electric Point.
Which is like another 60 miles.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not close.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And very excited to be working really with all of the partners from our Alaska Electric Vehicle Association partners, who are really doing a lot of the installation and engineering for these fast charging and level 2 charging stations along the route. Alaska Electric Vehicle Association is also managing a lot of the volunteer drivers who are supporting us for this year's event. So big kudos and shout out to Alaska Electric Vehicle Association.
All you owners who are going up there, much praise to you, because it's going to be more of an adventure, I think, than at least what we had anticipated. And how about windscreens? We cracked one.
Okay.
We felt lucky we only broke one windscreen.
Yep.
But the trucks come by, there's rocks that are
throwing rocks and gravel, yeah.
And then there was a sinkhole that was pretty big part of the way, so be careful for that too.
But you were able to navigate around that particular sinkhole?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were fine. So I'm super excited to actually find out how it went. So what we'll do, guys, is we're going to get you on a podcast.
Okay.
So we'll have a much deeper and longer conversation before, and then I want to talk to you afterwards because I want to hear all the stories.
So you get to see the optimistic Tim now and then the real version. Well, given that you've just come through this, do you have some sage advice that you could give to us as we're approaching our rally?
Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. This is definitely a trip that's about the journey and not the destination.
Okay.
Right? Because Dead Horse is it's an oil town, and it's not exactly Lauterbrunnen in Switzerland.
Yeah.
But so it's about the journey, right? And that's the fun part. That's really is a fun part because it's spectacular country, and all sorts of wildlife, and the other thing that I would say, we got there with a lot of help from a lot of people like you, and a lot of people along the road. So it's the one thing you find out is that when there is adversity, you do get to rely on others for help, and that kind of brings out the best in people. So I'm very grateful for all the people that I got to meet along the route, and all the people that gave us advice and then helped us. And there were a lot. So that's the best thing, the fellow people, travelers you meet, and of course the adventure of getting there, because getting there is kind of anticlimactic.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Thanks for that.
No, you bet. Thank you. Tyler, what do you do here at the Chevy dealership?
I'm the general sales manager.
All right. So first of all, thank you for letting us charge.
Hey, happy to.
But, we've given a lot of love to Ford. So let's talk about the Silverado. You said you have, 16 orders for the Silverado EV?
Yeah. One of the things with Alaska is when Chevy brought out the Silverado EV, we got excited because this is truck country. So, having something that we can really use and then have the EV with it. Obviously, there's been a lot of stuff in the news, but Alaskans liked it.
Yeah, right now you've had the Bolticel, right, which isn't a grand Alaskan car because you guys get a lot of snow and it's front-wheel drive. Tell me about kind of the EV culture here in Wasilla.
Yeah, it's mostly early adopters, so people that like technology, are coming out and liking to play with it. Tesla really helps with that because it plays to those. But as far as Chevy's concerned, we have people in the Wasilla area that are commuters. So they're driving 40 plus miles a day, sometimes 80 miles to get to Anchorage. And so it just works the commuter class. That's what those people are finding, and the EV works great for that, Bolt EVs in particular.
Now, do you have a lot of guys who are like, I'm going to give up my diesel truck, my Duramax, when you take it out of my cold, dead hands? You get those guys too?
Oh, yeah. It's usually a second vehicle.
Okay.
The EV, it's hard to make it your only car in Alaska. In the wintertime, it reduces your range considerably. So it's just one of those things.
And what's kind of the mix here? Trucks versus cars?
Oh, it's 75% trucks.
Is it? Yeah. Okay.
If not more, it might even be more.
All right. Okay, so it's mainly trucks, and let's talk about mid-size versus full-size versus heavy-duty. So what are those three? Mid-size Silverado is most popular?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say half-ton pickup. Is by far the biggest market there. Followed by the 2500, 3500s, heavy-duty trucks.
Yeah.
A lot of people with trailers. People like to take their toys out for the weekend. But recently, since Chevy came back with the Colorado and that mid-size truck segment, it's blown up. It's not just the Tacoma anymore. There's other vehicles available, and people are buying those.
Nice. And are you seeing any typical truck buyers who are like, hey, I want to get myself a Silverado EV? Are you seeing those guys?
No.
Okay.
It's not. It's mostly the guys who are maybe already have an EV.
Okay.
Or already
and want a truck EV.
Leaning that way, and they go, hey, a truck would be great.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Yeah.